In fact, Mr. President, you have 350 million people to liberate. But to liberate 350 million people, you have to imprison some.
Do you allow men to play in women's sports? Do you allow men to box your women and box? Because I know you have a lot of boxing.
That's violence.
That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us.
Well, I'm suppose you're not suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always
how can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it.
And no court in the United States has a right to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. It's that simple. End of story.
Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on Air Force One just a few days ago. And they said that it must be facilitated.
Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say that? Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. And I just asked the president, it's this massive complex that he built, jail complex. I said, can you build some more of them, please? As many as we can get out of our country that were allowed in here by incompetent Joe Biden. I said it to Pam. I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways, that hit elderly ladies on the back of the head with a baseball bat when they're not looking, that are absolute monsters. I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country.
In a critical meeting in the Oval Office today, President Donald Trump and El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele engaged in a tense conversation that illuminated the deepening complexities of U.S. immigration policy. The crux of the discussion, the contentious case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland man deported to El Salvador, and the broader ramifications of U.S.-El Salvador relations in the context of Trump's stringent immigration reforms. Today, we explore the legal, ethical, and geopolitical implications of this unprecedented diplomatic standoff.